This is John Doe MCOC here, back from a very long hiatus in making videos, but I recently kind of got re-inspired to make them again, and I'm hoping to do them at a much higher quality. So without further ado, jumping right back into it, my third rank 4 6-star Dragon Man. And I want to talk about Dragon Man today because he is actually one of my absolute favorite champions in this game, like by a long shot. Actually, when I took him to rank 4, I got kicked from my alliance because his prestige is so low, but I'm just such a fan of him that I just had to talk about him today, and I had to show you guys why I love this guy and why I think a lot of people aren't really appreciating his full potential, because there is some crazy things you can do with this guy. First off, base stats, not great. Critical rating is honestly quite low. Critical damage rating, I think at best is mid. Armor rating's not, spectacular. Block proficiency is okay. Critical resistance, only useful on defense, but he is an okay defender if he's on a stun immune node, but not great base stats. That's not what makes him shine. What makes him shine are all of his abilities, which are lunatic. Signature ability, kind of whatever, comes into play a couple times in this video, but he's immune to Armor Shattered, he's a robot, bleeding poison, so no willpower or anything like that. Degens when he has an armor break, double for cosmics, and has less offensive power. That sounds bad, and it is, but you will not notice it. You're going to be gaining so much more power from the power charge buff than it would with the negative 35 offensive combat. And that's just offensive, not defensive. So power charge, what I was just talking about, 12% of a bar of power per second. Hyperion doesn't even have that much, and he doesn't even have 100% uptime. Dragon Man can have 100% uptime on this buff, and it is 12% per second. Pauses upon science champions and gets removed with a stun, whatever. Cornered, also crazy. Note they get 70% less power when they're cornered, above 2 bars of power. They deal physical damage per each ineptitude and buff. Ineptitude you can get off the special 1. And it's immune to ability accuracy, so it's always going to trigger. On opponent knockdown, you're going to get an unblockable buff, which again, crazy. So every time they're knocked down by a special attack by a heavy, you're going to get an unblockable buff, and you can just go right back in and start hammering them against the wall. Heavy attacks remove Incinerate. That's where you get this like big bursty burst damage, which is going to be really helpful just to get fights moving along a little bit. Not necessary that you do it, but it is helpful. Special attack 1, slow. Best part of it. Every time you do it, you get a slow, and you can spam it for 8 seconds, which is pretty substantial. Ineptitude lowers buff percentages and gives you the bonus for cornered, which is also crazy. Special 2, you're going to get the Incinerates, and which you can blow up with the heavy attack. And special 3, you're going to get 3 power charges, obviously not giving you additional power. That would be crazy. And you're going to consume all of the power charges you have currently for an unstoppable buff. The unstoppable buff is crucial. You're going to be getting hit, and you're going to be regenerating 85% of it, but if you have the recovery mastery, it's an additional 12.5% if you calculate it, and that's all you need. God mode. Synergies, nothing crazy. Diablo's kind of fun to have. It's really good for Diablo, really good for Dragon Man. I like having them on a team together. Everything else, not really anything substantial. Having him with Mr. Fantastic, however, is a great idea for a lot of reasons, but not needed at all. I'm going to showcase some of the Mr. Fantastic stuff here in a second, but right now I wanted to get into my favorite piece of utility, which is the slow. The slow is, it's the best slow in the game in my opinion, besides, like heavy attack slows, but it's the most satisfying because that special one is so fun to watch, and then you're going to get the slow, and they're going to be locked down for 8 seconds, and if you have additional power charge, they're going to be locked down for even longer. And I decided to go take it against Juggernaut because, unfortunately, since they buffed him, I couldn't do the normal one because he doesn't have the same type of annoying slow that this one has, where every special attack he's going to get a slow, or he's going to get an unstoppable, excuse me. So I decided to take him up against this, and also because rank 4 Dragon Man shreds these health pools. I don't think any fight lasted longer than like a minute, and he is not like a big offensive champion. Like, he's mostly for utility, but my rank 4, no problem. None of them. And then I think I go for the special 3 here just because I want the additional power charge, and I think I'm going to do the special 2 loop. I don't know. let's see what I do here. I should be going for the special 1 loop because I'm going to get unstoppable all the time. But honestly, with Dragon Man, you can be so aggressive. Obviously, in ROL, they're not going to have special 3, so it doesn't really matter. But you can be so aggressive with the unblockable and the reduced combat power rate that you don't really need in this fight to go for special 1s because you're going to get the unblockable and you just hit them as soon as they get up. And they're really not going to be able to launch a special. I think the only champion that can control the fight as well as this, well, much better than this, I will admit, but on a similar level as this is Doom. Because with Doom, they're never going to throw a special. But with Dragon Man, you can go a long time without having to throw a special, which I think is very underrated in the meta right now. Because a lot of the new nodes are like, when an opponent throws a special attack, get debuff immunity, get this, get that. And you, like, if you're really aggressive, I'm not sure he throws this Juggernaut, throws another special 3 in this fight. Actually, I'm pretty sure he doesn't because I'm about to wrap it up. Having a striker with Dragon Man, really good. All the Mystic ones are really good on him. Scarlet Witch will give him more power, which can get really crazy. Iron Fist will give burst damage for every buff on the opponent, which he already does. I have Juggernaut because I really like the unstoppable bonus damage and the power bar that I get after doing a special 3. But anyone will work on him pretty well. And he is really benefited by having the striker because every time you do that, you press the little striker gauge, you get that free stun, which you can use to blow up your incinerates or get another combo, get more power, get right back into your rotation. I want to show off the Rhino here because this is important. The cornered is not direct damage, which I thought it was for a very long time. It's not. It's physical damage, and that's really important to note. Because if you can see here, the value is significantly less than it was on Juggernaut, even with the ineptitude, because of Rhino having that crazy physical resistance, which is kind of a problem nowadays because physical resistance seems to be kind of a new staple for Cosmic champions, which he is best against. But the ineptitude is going to reduce the potency of those buffs. So eventually, if it's a buff that they're getting physical resistance, you're going to be fine. But if it's passive like Rhino's, it's just kind of annoying. You're still going to get the bonuses from combat power rate, so it's not a really big deal. You can still be really aggressive. He has energy damage as well. He has a butt ton of energy damage that you can get from that special too. So if you are feeling like you're not getting the damage you want from cornered, and that's you don't need to do a special 1 rotation to stop unstoppable or buffs, go for the special 2, because the energy damage is going to be crazy. And I do that in this video because I showcase, even though he is a little bit neutered with the cornered, it's not going to matter. You can do energy damage. And the heavy attack is energy damage. You can just get off basic combos, and heavy attack gives you unblockable, so chains into itself very nicely. Another thing I want to show off here, I'm going to show it off against the champion, but that unstoppable regen, you can just sit there and let the opponent attack you, and you'll probably get up to back to full power because your defensive combat rate is normal and you're getting the power charge. So you can do that infinitely. It's 100% uptime. You just have to sacrifice some damage and some utility, but it's 100% uptime on that unstoppable buff, which is crazy. You're not going to take damage. I mean, you'll take 3%. You'll take 3% of the damage of the hit, so that could be a problem on a node like Unlimited Power, but he also counters Unlimited Power with the ineptitudes. If you keep those ineptitudes up, the Furies are actually going to be negative, and then they're going to be dealing no damage to you at all. So the one node that I can think that would really, no, Aggression Fury, but that's kind of easy just to with skill to counter. But the one node that could really screw that up would be, yeah, would definitely be easily countered by his special 1. So that's very important to note. And then this next fight that we have here, we are going to do like full God mode Dragon Man. I'm not running Suicides just because it doesn't really matter, but in Realm of Legends, but just because he spams so many special attacks that you're going to lose a lot of health. And I think he can be very suicide friendly if you are going for that special 3 unstoppable God mode loop, because you're going to get a lot of damage bonus, and you're not going to be taking any from your opponent. So you won't take recoil, you'll get 60% extra damage, 62.5 if you have the, or 0.4 if you have, which you have to, glass cannon, so 62.4 bonus damage, and you're not going to take any damage from that. So that's maybe a good idea, but the way I like to play him is a little bit more aggressive, and kind of damage orientated, especially when I'm trying to do a showcase, because nobody wants to watch me get to 500 hits on an ROL with suicides. So what we're doing here for max god mode, we have Odin for the aptitude for Fury, and then we have Fantastic for a lot of reasons why I feel like if you're really going for a full Dragon Man, you want Fantastic on that team. Fantastic and Diablo, because you're going to get the synergy bonus for Fantastic and Diablo, which is going to be some extra attack. And Fantastic gives him his ineptitudes lower base stats, not by a lot, but is kind of cool. Also, those pre-fights, right? So one of Fantastic's pre-fights is going to reduce combat power rate by 25%. And you can see it right here. She gains no power while she's cornered. None. Less than 5% of the power she would get, because Fantastic's pre-fight lowers your combat power rate as a 6-star by 25%, plus cornered is going to be 95%, no power. So if you're up against someone that you know really might get to a special 3, put on a Fantastic pre-fight, they're going to take no power whatsoever. And if you have the Tiger as well, they're actually going to lose a little bit of power. It's going to be negative combat power rate for a special. Also, another cool thing about him is Fantastic is, you see we're getting a little power back. If you put Storm or any of the other people in that synergy on the team, and big damage, 105,000. If you put anybody else on the team that with the power back synergy, for every special he uses, which usually you want to use all of them at least one point in the fight, you're going to get 15% of our power back. So it makes the power gain even crazier. So Fantastic is a definite inclusion if you're going God mode Dragon Man. This fight, I just wanted to include to show that you don't need the ineptitude to get crazy damage on champions if they have more than one unique buff. Or even one unique buff is going to be a good amount of damage. But the thing here is Venom actually got 2 physical resistance buffs, so it kind of messed it up a little bit. But you still see that even without the ineptitude, it's going to be dealing around 3k to 4k corner damage. I do screw up and get hit here. And I do believe I lose this fight pretty hard, but I edited that part out, obviously. And I just wanted to show here, for 2 reasons, the corner damage and how crazy Mystic Dispersion can be with him. Because these Venom buffs are running out every, I think it's 12 seconds, maybe 8, that you get a new Venom buff, and then you get power from that. And then when he launches the special 2, I don't have my power bar is full, so you can't see it. You get a lot of power from that. So Mystic Dispersion, great choice for this champion. Really going to help you even when you don't have anything. So for this, I wanted to show Deadpool. I like testing on him because he's like a little bit less than the 500k, and he's like aggressive like a normal champion is. But I'm trying to do not a lot of damage to him right now because I want to show something that a lot of people don't talk about, which is the fact that you can just spam special ones for an insane amount of damage. So this health pool is about 150k, and I'm going to get it all down without him launching a single special. Because I'm going to get him cornered, and then I'm going to do special 1. Special 1's going to end. I'm going to have unblockable, 5-hit combo, maybe even a little less for the power gain. Special 1. Already have a bar of power back. 5-hit combo, special 1. And I think by the time I kill him, I could have done it twice more. Special 1. Yep, I already have another special 1 ready. He is dead after this combo. And on top of that, I have the Striker. So I could have done, within reason, probably about 200,000 damage before he was even able to launch a special, because that's how aggressive you can be with Dragon Man without anything happening to you. And that's something people don't think about a lot. They always go for the special 2 Incinerate, which is great damage, but I did double what I could normally do with the Incinerate without synergies just by doing special 1 spam. And that's something that people need to consider when they're playing Dragon Man and they're in a corner, kind of like you would be with Doom, where you get that power gain or you get that heavy. When you're in a corner, knock him down if you can, and just special 1 him to death. Here we have the champion fight, because I did kind of want to end on a little bit of a funnier note, where he is just a cheese god for this, because he's going to get the Mystic Dispersion from the buffs, he has slow, and the most annoying part of this was just taking the damage when you're trying to dex, which I did a lot. I do in this fight, but the difference being, after launching 2 special 2s, or special 3s, I'm in god mode. He can't hit me. He doesn't have a stun on his basics. He can't remove my power charge. He can't remove my unstoppable. So I just need to be patient, wait for my power bar to go up, and I'm in god mode. I can go in dex it whenever I want. It takes me a little bit because I sucked at dexing this the first time. I suck at dexing it now. But it is God mode. And I believe people have already shown this off, but it is really important that this is seen and that people understand how crazy he is for fights, not just this one, but like this, especially since this one gave so many people so much heartache when it first came out. Yeah, I missed the dex there because I suck at this game. And he can do this for a number of fights. If you're having trouble with the fight and the nodes aren't strictly prohibiting this, you can just do this and you will win the fight. You will not have any problems. You will just go in, kick ass as Dragon Man. And this can be gimped in a lot of ways. I don't want people to like quote me and be like, oh yeah, Dragon Man can beat anything. He's invincible with the unstoppable. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Heal block, anything like that's going to screw it up. If you're slowed or if there's a buff node, you're going to get the unstoppable gone and then you're going to be screwed. But you're going to have 4 power charges, so you can work with that. But for a lot of basic fights, especially in Act 6, because he's immune to a lot of damage over time to bleeding poison, this can work. This can help you, and it can get you out of a lot of tight spots. Sentinel comes to mind, Crossbones comes to mind. I think there might be some nodes on Crossbones that'll actually stop that. But all these fights that people have so much trouble with can be cheesed with Dragon Man. And that's something that I think people know, but just the extent of how badly I am playing right here and how well this is working for me should show that it really can, it can do pretty much anything you need. This is still going. I'm so... this fight, I really should have edited it. But another thing about Dragon Man that I also really like is he works very well with the Odin pre-fights. So even if you... I mean, not very well, but the shock resistance is crazy because that's one less DOT that's going to be applied to him. The protection is really nice because when you're getting hit, if for some reason that the champion who's hitting you has such a high attack pool that it can knock you out in one hit, it doesn't matter if you regenerate, you're dead. But with the protection, you're not going to get knocked out, and you're going to regenerate that hit damage. And then, of course, the aptitude is going to be really helpful for the Fury. So I really like to play him with Odin pre-fights. I think some of his other synergies were a little bit more needed at this point because I knew champion wasn't going to knock me out in one hit. But if you have Odin and you are worried that you're going to get knocked out in one hit with Dragon Man, use it. It's a really helpful tool and can even take the cheese a little bit further, which is something people don't talk about, and they should, because with the Odin synergy, it's a lot better. This is the special 3 finally that's going to knock him out. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out the channel. Hopefully some more Battlegrounds stuff coming soon. And have a great day, guys. Good to be back.